Well, let's see. Let's see if this is right. If I'm on, this Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, saying aloha and welcome to the Blue Note Fan Report. Well, a lot is going on in the world today, and I thought we could all use a little bit of what do you call it? Um, I'm not even sure what the right word is. Thought we could use a little bit of a distraction. So I thought I'd give you some of that distraction by coming on and saying, let's talk some blues hockey. Not just blues hockey, let's talk the NHL in general. Um, like I said, my name is Guy. I'm the Hawaii Blues fan. I'm here to talk hockey with you. If you're ready, let me know. Um, if you're in the chat room, please say hi, uh, and we'll go from there. Right now, it doesn't look like anybody's watching me but me. But hey, hi Guy, how you doing? Yeah, I'm Guy. Nice to meet you. Um, yeah, I know I'm kind of crazy. So, what's going on in the world? Let's talk about that first. Well, unfortunately, as we know, there is some negative things happening throughout the U.S., especially Minneapolis, St. Louis, other places. Hi, Jordan. How are you? I hope you're feeling good. And Jordan, if I don't get a chance to talk to you this weekend, I would to wish you a very happy 17th birthday. Um, Back to what I was saying. There's some really bad things going on in our world today. Um, we really need to understand and think about each other. Um, you know, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this because there is no right way. And I've seen a post on Facebook talks about service. I relied on white and blue and black and yellow and green and orange and all that, and that's true. And we're all one person, right? We're all one race. We're the human race, and we need to realize that. We need to be kind to each other. We need to think of each other, and yeah, I seen that, Jordan. And we need to really understand what's going on in each one of our communities, right? Um, and the other thing that we really have to do, and I couldn't stress this enough, we need to stop looking at each other as them and us. You know, I seen a video yesterday where a lady was yelling, "They shot one of their own! They shot one of their own!" And that's just it highlighted to me, what's wrong. If you're gonna think of that they're different, that we're all different, that's the problem. We're not all different. We're all the same. We just have different backgrounds. We grew up differently. We speak different languages. We understand different things. We have different perspectives on life, and no one's perspective is right. No one's perspective is wrong. Everybody's perspective is what it is. Let's just say that as soon as we start realizing that and thinking that way, that we're going to have a much better society. And that's going to be my take on this. So now that I got some people watching, this is kind of like a sports open line. So if you don't know what that is, a sports open line, you can call me, but instead of calling me, send me a message. You've got the chat. Now let's say that you're watching this on YouTube and you're not subscribed to YouTube. Well, how can you get a hold of me? That's really easy. On Facebook, if you go to the Blue Note Fan Report, search for that on Facebook. There's a page there. If you message that page, I will get that message here. I got my phone set up. So I'll receive those messages and then I can respond that way. So you're not stuck not being able to respond to me. Also, if you are on Facebook and you're a friend of mine, you can send me a message that way and I'll get it and we'll go from there. If you're on and subscribe to YouTube, and it's not really subscribing to YouTube, it's just having a Gmail or an account like that, then you can type something in the chat room here, and I will gladly respond to you. I see David Wilkes is in the chat room. I see Jordan York is in the chat room. And I'm sure there's a few others. Come on, let's make this not just me talking. Let's make this a little bit of everybody for everyone, and we'll go from there. One of the things that I want to talk about today is going to be the state of the NHL and where we're at right now. There are a lot of people that have a lot of issues about this playoff, right? And one of the things about this playoff is that, I just kind of lost my place. It's a money grab, and that they're letting in too many teams. Well, Gary Bettman did an interview, and I'm trying to find the interview. I know it's on NHL.com, and he talked. And actually, I think I remember a while back, I tried to do a live where I showed some of that interview. It didn't work really well, but I showed some of that interview. And one of the things that Gary Bettman brought up was that if they didn't play out the regular season, that they would owe NBC some type of credit or something like that. Well, if you think about when the NHL stopped, it was right around March 11th. So there was about 3 weeks of the season left, right? Season went to the end of April, the end of the first week of April. So in that 3 weeks, how many games would NBC play? I would say anywhere in the range of 25 to 30, give or take. Now, with that being said, let's look at this quote-unquote play-in round. Well, with this play-in round, they have now moved the amount of games that were in the playoffs. They've added, and they're saying it's a best of 5. So anywhere from 15, I think that's right. No, 8 times 3 is 24. Between 24 and 40 games. Well, think about that. Now, not only do they cover the 20 to 25 to 30 games, they could have extra games. Those extra games are going to mean more money. Then you have your regular playoffs. Now, the NHL doesn't owe any money or credit to NBC. This coming season, 21-22, is the last of a 10-year contract worth $2 billion. Well, you know what? Every other contract that teams have signed lately or the leagues have signed has escalated. Well, the NHL is looking at that. They're looking at that escalation. This COVID-19 is going to take some play into that, but that escalation is there. And then there's one thing that the NHL can do that they haven't done in the past and that they really need to do. They can look at expanding and taking the exclusivity away from the playoff or away from the contract. When NBC is only showing 109 games, that's it, 109 games for the season. Of 1,000, they're showing less than 10%. That means the majority of your games are being shown regionally. Regionally doesn't help you. It's nice, but it doesn't help you. What gets you that audience is the national audience. And here's something that NBC does that I absolutely freaking hate. Right? Every major sports, finals, series, or game is on a major network. All of them, with the exception of the NHL. The weekend games are on NBC. The weekday games, they put on the sports network. They are chopping a leg out from under the NHL by putting it on a cable network, not a major broadcast network. That's got to end. The NHL has got to say that the finals, all games of the finals, need to be on the main network. And NBC does it. ABC, the NBA does it. Major League Baseball does it. Major League Baseball, those games are on Fox. They're not on They're not on Fox Sports or Fox 2. They're on Fox, right? Uh, Look at the Super Bowl. Okay, football is a different story, but it's still, they're on the major networks in prime time. Putting the finals in a cable network, a less, viewership network, hurts the NHL. And what it does is it gives NBC these, well, your ratings were this. Well, unfortunately, that kind of hurt this year because Game 7, which was on the sports network, got one of the highest ratings of a hockey game in years. People tuned in. And this year, the ratings are up. Now, there is now you also have to understand that the NHL has two separate TV contracts. They have a contract here in the U.S. and they have a contract in Canada. Contract in Canada pays them much more than the contract in the U.S. Makes sense? Canada's national game. Got it? No problem. We'll just leave it at that. Where there is a misconception that hockey is not as popular in the U.S. because of the ratings on the national team channel. Well, the problem is the national channels don't show the games as much, right? And when they are on, you're looking at 2 or 3 markets. You're not looking at an overall. You haven't been able to take your sport away from the regional set. When you put it on NBCSN, you're putting it on a basically type regional network. And then NBC does something that's really horrible, is they highlight their own network, right? They have like Sports Channel or Fox networks in a couple of cities, and those are the cities that they highlight. About 3 or 4 years ago, I think when the All-Star game was in LA or no, it might have been in San Jose, the any team that was a NHL network, NBC Sports Network team channel market got 2 players. Every other team got 1. Right there. I mean, it was so obvious to what they did. They really took. They have hurt the sport more than they've helped the sport. The NHL is a popular sport. It is popular among its diehard fans and among its cities. Where it is not popular is the fringe, your casual fan. And the reason it's not popular among your casual fan is the way it is portrayed on the networks. If it's on a network you can't find, like when the national game, when it's on NBC Sports Network, I see all over the place and saying, what channel is on? Where can I find it since it's not on Fox Sports? You have gotten so used to seeing it in a regional market, you're not used to seeing it in a national market. That has hurt the NHL. They need to get more games per year in that national market. Does it hurt individual teams? It could, but the teams that's going to hurt are the big market teams, not the smaller medium market teams, because the money that's going to come from some of those games going on national is going to increase the national pot, which puts more money in the small market teams, which catches up what they lose. I can see where some New York and LA could lose a little bit of money, but these teams don't need it as much as everybody else does. That's my opinion on this TV deal and the popularity of hockey. I'd really like to hear what you guys think. So go ahead and throw your comments up. Let me know. And also, hey, man, share this thing on your Facebook pages. Tell people how fun it is. If you're a Blues fan, come watch. Let's get more people watching. Let's talk. Let me know who's here. I want to know who I'm talking to. Don't make me be the only guy talking. I really appreciate that. Oh, hey, Devin. Devin just sent me some. Aaron, hey, how you doing, buddy? Welcome. Roland's here. I see Jordan. I see David Wilkes. I'm not sure who else is here. This is kind of my opinion. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Just let me know. I hope everyone's staying safe. I want to say that. Please share this out amongst your friends. Let's get the views up and make this a popular program. Before I get into the next subject, which is going to be the, I just kind of lost my place, which is going to be the playoffs. I want to talk about something I just did recently. And Jordan, I'm pretty sure you're still listening. Can I get a thumbs up? Because I think you know what I'm going to talk about. Can I get a thumbs up that it's okay to talk about that? You want to talk about the episode I put out? Want to make sure that it's okay? I'm waiting for a second. I know you guys are on a little bit of a delay, so you may not see it as quick as I do or see what comes up, and that's fine, and no issues on that. Just waiting a second as that comes up. So yeah, I am going to talk about the playoffs, and I'm really the thing that everybody's upset about is the wrong thing. Okay, thank you, Jordan. The thing that everyone's upset about is the playoff, and they shouldn't be. They should be upset about the draft, and we'll get to that. So just recently, I did an interview with Alex Ferrario, the pregame and postgame host, and there we go. I highlighted the York family. I'm going to play a little bit of this play for you. This is one of the videos I just did. You can find this on YouTube if you search for the Blue Note Fan Report. That is my channel. I don't have my own name yet. I'm about 514 subscribers away. Until I get to 500, I'm not going to get there. I did a video and went around the state of Hawaii. You can see some of the pictures of Hawaii. I talked about what's going on. I talked about a contest I'm having and some pictures I'm giving away. I'm not going to get too much into that. I'm going to let this play for a couple of minutes. From what I understand is you guys can hear it. I have it set so I can't. I'm hoping that you guys are hearing it okay. If everything's going good, I might have to do this real quick. Well, I'm not sure if you guys are able to hear this or not. Well, I tried. So you can see here the video's running. Please go out there and enjoy it. Check it out. Send the Yorks. I put a hashtag out there. It should be coming up here very shortly. When you see that hashtag, I'd love to see you guys put it out to let the Yorks know you're thinking about them. Haley, we're always thinking about you. And Haley, you're always welcome on my channel because you'll always be a YouTube star to me. So that's my 2 cents there before we get into the playoff. I'll let this play just a little bit more. I wanted to get it into where I had the this hashtag, pray for hay, get you an entry. Just get it out there for me. I'd appreciate it. And you'll notice I filmed around Hawaii. This is for Jessica York. Jess, you asked me why I didn't show Hawaii. Well, here's Hawaii for you, Jess. This hashtag, pray for hay, get you an entry. Just get it out there for me. I'd appreciate it.
I want everyone to give a very big
I filmed
welcome
around
to
Hawaii.
this special episode to ESPN 101 sports host and the Blues pregame and postgame host. Please welcome Alex Fiorio, sorry, man.
I appreciate it.
Alex Fiorio.
I filmed around Hawaii.
There you go. No, it was believe me, I've heard a lot.
There we go on that. I'm gonna kind of take this away for now. You got to see some of that. Okay, so now I want to get into this 2014 playoff, right? And one of the things is a lot of people are upset about the 2014 playoff and the way it's set up. And like I said earlier, it has a lot to do with the TV and the TV money. So to me, it makes some sense now that I've kind of broken it down and looked at it that way. So when they get these extra 24 to 40 games, it's going to help with the money. Got it? Makes a lot of sense. I get that. And the only way they had to do it was this way. So let's go ahead and look at how they're going to set up and do this 2014 playoff. So with this 2014 playoff, right, they are going to have, let's see if I'll try something here real quick. See if something's going to work here for me for a second. No. Hold on, before we get there, I wanted to try something. I meant to do it earlier, but I forgot. Hey, that's what happens when you're live. There we go. That makes it work, right? Okay. Kind of move me to a better spot. Okay. So now you can kind of see what we're going to be looking at. We're going to look at this 2014 playoff and how it is set up. Now you guys get to see my secret. Okay. So let's talk about the East. In the East, the 12 teams that are going to be in the quote-unquote bracket, it's not really a playoff. They've come back and said something about that, so we'll talk about that later. So the top 4 teams in the East are Boston, Tampa Bay, the Washington Capitals, and the Philadelphia Flyers. Then you get over to the play-in teams. Now this is important. This play-in round is not considered part of the playoffs. That's absolutely right. It is not part of the playoffs. That play-in round has seed your teams from 5 through 12. 5th place in the East being Pittsburgh Penguins, 6 being the Carolina Hurricanes, 7 being the New York Islanders, 8 the Maple Leafs, 9 the Columbus Blue Jackets, 10 the Florida Panthers, 11 the Rangers, and 12 the Montreal Canadiens. Now I've seen some memes going around showing, Montreal and Chicago popping, champagne bottles saying, hey, we're in the playoffs. Actually, you're not. That is something that has come out, right? NBC has said the only teams that are considered in the playoffs right now are Boston, Tampa Bay, the Capitals, Philadelphia, St. Louis, Colorado, Vegas, and Dallas. Those are the only teams that are in the playoffs. You have to win your play-in round to be considered in the playoff. Important. Where this comes into is some draft things. Or not draft, some trade things. There were some things where we traded this pick, but if we make the playoffs, you get this one, vice this one, and that and that. So there's some things in there, and that's what the NHL has finally come out and said, that the play-in round is not part of the playoffs. Okay. Get that. Here's my problem with that. Let's look at number 5, Pittsburgh, and number 5, the Oilers. By all rights, these are playoff teams. In a normal system, they would have been in the playoffs. Let's say they both get upset. Both of these teams now will be considered not in the playoffs and will go in the draft. And they will have a very small chance of getting the first overall pick. Now, it's minute, But with the way 2020 is going, it wouldn't frickin' surprise me if that happened at all. Not one bit would that surprise me. Right? I could see it happening. I mean, very easily, actually. And I'm going to grow here. Maybe make it a little easier for you to see me. I could see it happening very, very easy. 2020 has been a hell of a year. So, yeah, anything could happen, right? Anything could happen. One of the things that so I got an issue with that a little bit. I understand what they're doing with these playoffs. I really do. I get it. I'm okay with it, and we'll kind of go from there. Now, let's go into the West. We beat up the East. Let's go to the West. So your 4 teams in the West are St. Louis, Colorado, Vegas, and Dallas. They all have earned a playoff spot. That's all they've earned. Very important to realize that. That's all they've earned is a playoff spot. Now you're 5 through 12. Number 5, the Oilers. Number 6, the Nashville Predators. Number 7. Oh, actually, I heard someone call them the Child Predators. I like that. The Nashville Predators. Number 7 is the Vancouver Canucks. Number 8, Calgary Flames. Number 9, the Winnipeg Jets. Number 10, the Minnesota Wild. Number 11, the Coyotes. And number 12 is the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, if you notice, every team in the Central made it in. You know, I kind of wish in the Central and the West they'd have gone 6-6 because of the way that they're weighted. The fact that one only has 7 teams and the others have 8. It might have made sense to weight this side of it. I think the next team would have been Anaheim, and Anaheim was way below Chicago in points. But to me, a last place team doesn't, quote unquote, earn a chance to play in the play-in round. You know, what purpose was the regular season if you were going to let them all in anyways? That's just how I feel, and I would have felt that way with either one of them. I know over in the West, Buffalo got screwed. Buffalo should have made it in. Buffalo got screwed. You know, that is bad on the way the NHL did it. They were definitely ahead of, I can't remember who it was. I know it might have been Montreal, but they were definitely ahead of Montreal. They should have gotten in. That's my point on that. So let's go ahead now and let's break these down a little bit. Let's start in the West, or pardon me, the East. Let's we'll start at the top. We'll start over here at the 8-9 round, and we'll go there. 8-9 is Toronto and the Blue Jackets. This is a good matchup. Toronto is going to need this more than any other team in this bracket to win this round. And not only are they going to need to win this round, they're going to need to win the next round too. And that's really important. They have had a history of getting knocked out early, and they've got some heavy, heavy talent. Can that talent come together? Don't know yet. Pardon me. I didn't do that, but we will see. I am picking Toronto to win this in 5, but it's going to be close. The 5-12, Pittsburgh Montreal. I like Pittsburgh in this one. I like Pittsburgh in 3. I just don't think Montreal has enough. Even though they have Carey Price, I don't think they have enough to overcome Pittsburgh, especially on a neutral site. 7-10, the Islanders of Florida. Florida's got better goaltending, and because of goaltending, I'm going to go Florida in 4. Now, this is as of today, which is June 2nd, which reminds me I need to call my mom. It's her birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. I'll do that as soon as I'm done here. June 2nd, this could all change when training camp starts. You know, I don't know who's been eating. I don't know who's been playing video games. I don't know who's been working out. So a lot of this could change. This is just my thought process as of what I see the teams being. I'm going to pick an upset here. I picked Florida in 5. Now, the Rangers and the Hurricanes, I'm on the Hurricane. I'm on the Hurricanes wave here, pun intended. I see the Hurricane in 3. Okay. Now we'll move over to the West. The 8 and 9, Calgary. Oh, Calgary and Winnipeg. This is a good one. This could go a bunch of different ways. This is a toss-up in my eyes. I'd have to flip a coin, but I kind of think Calgary might have just a little bit better fire in them. So I'm going to say Calgary in 5. The next one, the 5-12 matchup, this is the one that I'm really concerned about. Oilers and Blackhawks. The Blackhawks have playoff experience. They have so much playoff experience. This one's going to go 5 games, and I'm going to toss it up, but I really do think the Blackhawks actually sneak into the playoffs and win this one. I hate saying that. So then we go to the 7-10, the Minnesota Wild and the Vancouver Canucks. The Wild, to me, just are a lucky team. I think Vancouver is much better. I see Vancouver winning this one in 3 or 4. And then Nashville and Arizona. I actually think Arizona is the better team here. I see Arizona winning this one in 5. Now, I would love to seed this out for you, but I can't. Because what the NHL's done here, and this is one of my biggest problems in this, they've taken the 4 teams that have made the playoffs and said, really, all you've done is gotten yourself into one of the top 4 seeds. Now you're going to play a round robin. So what you've done in the regular season doesn't matter. I think that this round robin playoff should be rated. They can rate it one of 2 ways. One way they can rate it is the 4 teams that won their division should have a point starting off. And then St. Louis and Boston should have a second point for winning the conference. Or they can rate it this way. Boston and St. Louis start with 3 points. Tampa Bay and the Avalanche start with 2 points. The Washington and Pittsburgh, or not, Washington and Vegas each start with a point. Make that 2 points because they get a bonus point for winning their division. And Dallas and Philly start with 0. I think that would be the fairest way to do it, but that's not the way they're going to do it. And I'm not even going to take a guess on this round robin until we get a chance to see the training camps. And that's going to be my thought process on this. Okay, so let's switch back here. So I'm going to go back to the regular spot and where we were and see what's going on. Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit about the draft. I'm not going to get too heavy into it because I think the draft is an absolute shill, and it's bad in more ways than I can even think of. But that's what we got to deal with right now. So what they're going to do is the 7 teams that did not make it in the playoffs, and I'm hoping I get these 7 teams right. They were in the West, Los Angeles, San Jose, and Anaheim. And in the East, Detroit, Buffalo, Ottawa, and one more. Detroit, Buffalo, Ottawa. Oh, and I can't think of the other one. Someone will remind me. Detroit, Buffalo, Ottawa. Who's the other team am I missing? Wow. I feel stupid right now. Okay, well, so I'm missing one. But those 7 teams are going to be ranked 1 through 7. And then they're going to do a placeholder, A through H, for the next 8 teams. the teams that lose in the play-in round will go into those spots based on their regular season playoff percentage. Okay, not super happy with it, but okay. Here's where my issue comes in, right? First of all, those teams that they've deemed to go into this play-in round, some of them could be very high-rated teams that would have normally been in the playoffs and would not have been knocked out of the playoffs had the final 11 to 13 games played. Yet, they're taking a chance at a really high draft pick, a lottery round draft pick, a franchise-changing player. That's where I have the problem. I think that the players, the 1 through 7, that's it. That should be the only thing. Now, here's the thing, and why all this is happening. You want to know why they've done it this way. It has everything to do with the CBA. In order to do this 2014 playoff, they had to go through the players' union to get a change to the CBA. So the CBA covers everything. Everything that the NHL does is an operation of the CBA. In order to make this change, they would have to go through a fight with the CBA that they don't want. With the players' union that they don't want, they want some labor peace. So they're doing something that they can make a change to that in the spirit of the CBA doesn't change it. I just wish that they wouldn't reward some of the bigger teams for getting upset. And that's what's going to happen. There's no way out of it, and that's where it is. Well, guys, I've been on for about 35 minutes or so. I only wanted to be on for 30. I'm not seeing any talking in the chat room, so I'm going to kind of end it here. I just want to give you guys a chance to get a break from what was going on in the world. Like I said, this is the Hawaii Blues fan, host of the Blue Note Fan Report, saying aloha, mahalo, and I'm bleeding blue with you. I'll see you later. Aloha.